be a relief if the dangers of bloodborne pathogens were only a comic book fantasy. But fortunately, you don't need a superhero. Only some knowledge and a bit of common sense to protect yourself. Bloodborne pathogens are microorganisms in human blood that can cause a number of deadly diseases. Hepatitis B and C, human immune deficiency virus, HIV, malaria, and syphilis are only a partial list of the existing pathogens. Although the most feared and the most dangerous bloodborne pathogen is human immune deficiency virus, or HIV. The most common bloodborne pathogen is actually hepatitis B and C. Hepatitis literally means an inflamed liver, and it can be deadly. Bloodborne pathogens can be found in blood, semen, vaginal secretions, urine, vomit, and any other body fluid. The transmission of these pathogens in the workplace is rare, but considering how dangerous they are, it's important to understand how they're transmitted and take precautions to protect yourself. Transmission of bloodborne pathogens occurs when the contaminated source of blood or body fluid enters your body. Transmission to the body can happen in a variety of different ways. Through the mucous membrane, such as the eyes, mouth, ears, and other body openings, through cuts and abrasions, or through potential contact with sharp objects such as needles or broken glass. Understand the areas of your job where you'll come in contact with blood or body fluids. Again, it's important to assume that all body fluids are contaminated. Here are some precautions you can take to protect yourself. While administering first aid, try to have as little contact with blood and body fluids as possible. Use eye protection and latex gloves. If you may have to perform mouth-to-mouth, use a mouth barrier. Wash your hands thoroughly after any contact with soap and warm water. After contact with your face or eyes, flush with fresh water for several minutes. All contaminated areas should be thoroughly disinfected and cleaned. Whenever possible, you should use disposable materials to disinfect contaminated areas. Be alert for sharp objects, broken glass, or syringes. Never reach into waste. Never touch broken glass with your hands. Always use a dustpan and a broom. Cleaning equipment must be disinfected after each use. While cleaning up, always keep your hands away from your eyes, nose, and mouth. Following a bloodborne pathogen incident, it's important to decontaminate any reusable PPE or surfaces that may have become contaminated. Physical, and more often than not, chemical decontaminants should be used in the process to remove, inactivate, or destroy the bloodborne pathogen. Each C-Corps vessel will either be equipped with a kit or supplies needed to clean up biohazards. Find out where these supplies are before an accident happens. The kits contain PPE for the disposal of bloodborne pathogens, latex, plastic and nitrile gloves, eye shields, aprons, and biohazard waste bag and identification tags for the disposal of contaminated material. You should be cautious when removing sharps in a biohazard bag that the bag isn't punctured. It's better to dispose of sharps in a solid container if it's available. It's a good idea to know where an eye wash station is on board before an accident. Before you use PPE, you should check its condition for wear. Don't use defective or broken PPE, and remove the disposable PPE immediately after use. Before you use PPE, it's important to take off rings or other jewelry that might damage or rip the PPE. In the event of an exposure, you should wash any exposed skin immediately. Thoroughly wash and rinse all mucous membranes with clean water. Use the eye wash station to clean the eyes with fresh water. Report any exposure immediately to a ship official, and it's always a good policy to have a thorough medical examination after an exposure. Bloodborne pathogens are an intimidating foe, invisible, creeping, and just waiting for an unprotected victim. If your job puts you in the path of bloodborne pathogens, there's no substitute for planning and being prepared. Is it dangerous? Yes. But with the right care, its hazards aren't inevitable.